Greetings to all. Welcome to CEC lecture. The topic of analysis is visual turn in IR, the internet. In this lecture, the visual turn in IR, the internet, we will discuss the impact of the rise of internet and its related phenomenon with respect to international relations. This lecture shall also explain related concerns with respect to the new visual dimension of international politics and global governance. This lecture shall present a discussion on how internet, the images, are also having a profound impact with reference to understanding and comprehension of international phenomena. To begin with, as we often hear that international relations as a discipline is undergoing a visual turn. Quite often, we hear that visual turn, the visual impact, the images therein are playing an important role with respect to international relations as a discipline. Now, for this, we need to understand the reasons for that. That is, images play a crucial role in defining perceptions of an international event and also shaping our understanding of it. Now, we all know images are very significant, and images play a crucial role in defining the narrative, in defining the perceptions of an international event and our understanding of it. Now, when we talk about photographs, when we hear about maps, then we often hear about films, and then we often depict cartoons. Today, all these visual sources, from photographs, maps to films, they are having an important influence in international political phenomena. So therefore, when we understand and when we debate that the concept, the argument that international relations as a discipline is undergoing a visual turn, we have to understand that how perceptions therein are being shaped by the rampant use and exploration and interface by the visual sources. It could range from photographs to maps to films. Then the important question that emerges: what difference does it make to study international politics through the visual narrative? This is an important thing that we need to ask. That visual narrative is having an important impact. Visual narrative is playing an important role. Then what difference does it make with respect to studying international politics through the visual narrative? Now, to answer this question, let us first delve deeper into international relations, the trajectory, the issues that it has covered. International relations as a discipline, any layman would answer that it attempts to explain the interaction of states in global interstate system. We all know that state is the main unit of analysis while we talk about international relations. Within this realm of international relations, we try to understand interactions of states, looking at and situating it in the bigger picture of global interstate system. So, a simple definition or understanding of international relation is that it is a branch of political science concerned with relations between nations and primarily, that's most important, with foreign policies. Now, in this simple definition of international relations, we have to understand that the connotation of relations between nations is no longer just about state-to-state interaction. Today, we are witnessing that the state coexists with important non-state actors. What are these important non-state actors? The market, the civil society, so many other important actors, the industry, which are having an important bearing with respect to the interactions of states in the global interstate system. So therefore, what we see here is that with time, the scope of international relations it's getting contested as well as complex. That is, complex relations existing amongst the sovereign states of the world. This is what defines the scope of international relations, that we see that how relations existing amongst the sovereign states of the world, today they are in a very contested and complex realm, and therein we need to understand that state exists with important non-state actors. So therefore, the study of international relations, which is very useful, namely for research, for developing analytical skills, it is very helpful in communication skills and interpersonal skills. So IR as a discipline is witnessing expansion as well as new complex realms. International relations began to emerge as a separate discipline in the aftermath of the First World War with the creation of the chair of international politics at University of Aberystwyth and firmly secured its independence. That is, what we see here is that the discipline got some rigorous contours that happens after the Second World War. We read the study of Olson with respect to understanding the evolution of the discipline, that the chair of international politics coming up at University of Aberystwyth, and then following the independence of this discipline, expansion of this discipline after the end of the Second World War. So what we see here is in this discussion that IR as a discipline has a wide scope. The study and practice of international relations in the present time as well as in the past, one can see that it has an important input. And what is that input? Interdisciplinary in nature. That is, interdisciplinary nature plays an important bearing, has an important bearing with respect to study and practice of international relations. Now, what are the disciplines that are having a bearing on international relations? Economics, history, political science, all of them are having an important bearing with respect to study of international relations. Today, to add to that, important topics like human rights, global poverty, environment, international political economy, globalization, market forces, security, global ethics, all of them are becoming very important with respect to understanding global governance, with respect to understanding issues of international relations. Now, with this comes the important aspect that realism, the narrative, has been one of the dominant schools of thought in international relations theory. Realism claims to explain the reality of international politics, that is, with respect to focus on the conflictual side of reality. That is, it claims to explain the reality of international politics, focusing on the conflictual side, and therefore realism describes international relations as struggle for power amongst nations who seek to protect their own interests. So what we see here is that with time, the idea that realists believed in maximizing military power in order to achieve peace and security, with time one finds a witness or emergence of the neo-neo debate. The neo-neo debate refers to problems of state power, relations amongst different states, relations between states and non-state actors. When we refer to the work of Bayliss and Smith, it points out that neorealism and neoliberalism share many assumptions about actors, values, ideas, issues, power arrangements in international relations theory. Now, what we understand here is that state has been an important actor in international relations, but today non-state actors are equally important. Military power is very significant, but at the same time economic power, technological power, cultural power, various dimensions of soft power, smart power are equally very valid. So what we see here is, in this debate on visual turn in international relations, internet is playing an important role. Now, let us first understand how do we define and understand internet. Some people often simply call it as the net. So what is internet? Internet is global computer network providing a variety of information and communication facilities consisting of interconnected networks using standardized communication protocols. Now with this communication facilities, interconnected networks, what we say sometimes this internet in everyday discussion is simply called as the net. It is a worldwide system of computer networks. Internet is an electronic communication network. When we delve deeper into it to understand, that is, this electronic communications network connects computer networks and organizational computer facilities around the world. Internet is a technology of connecting multiple computers together through a network. So what we see that there are various types of network that combine to make the internet. Various types of small networks include local area network, personal area network, metropolitan area network, campus area network. We all have heard about it. Today, when we look at the world around us, internet is having different uses. There are many uses of the internet. Internet helps us with facts. Internet helps us with information and knowledge for personal, social and economic development. And internet, most important, is an important pillar for creating a communication medium to share and get information online. So what we see here is that internet is one of the fastest mediums for sending and receiving information. So from email to sharing of files, research, news are some of the diverse uses of internet. So internet allows us to connect and communicate. Internet has revolutionized communications and methods of commerce with various computer networks. And yes, most important, thanks to the web, people can connect with each other like through the virtual zone anywhere in the world that has internet access. So what we see here is throughout history, technology has played an important role in international relations too. So with this, let's understand what is technology. Technology is the application of scientific knowledge to practical aims of human life. Information and communication technologies have become a central and critical aspect in international relations. This information, as we all know, is very important for any nation with respect to political development. Information is crucial for economic development. Information is equally significant for military development for any country. So for example, what we see that how today, because of global communication, rise of global communications network, 24/7 communications that we say, it is blurring technological, economic, cultural boundaries. Dialogue and communication are becoming the essence of foreign relations also. Dialogue and communication facilitated by a lot of virtual platforms are becoming important pillars of the narrative that shape foreign issues. So internet is also perhaps one of the most visible aspects of present day globalization. Now we all know globalization has always existed. It is at the same time one of the most contested phenomena in global governance. But with this globalization, especially in the present time, driven by neoliberal capitalism, driven by rampant innovations in technology and communication, the internet is perhaps therefore in this realm the most visible aspect and an important pillar of globalization. So what we see here is that today we are in the realm of globalization 4.0. Now, globalization 4.0 was the theme of World Economic Forum in 2019. And when we go by the various research inputs that we get from World Economic Forum, we hear about globalization 4.0, that is the cyber physical systems, the Internet of Things, big data analytics, cloud computing, cognitive computing, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, autonomous vehicles, all of them are playing a very important role in present day times. And there is a need to understand the role and impact on the economy with respect to emerging technologies, because we have to exist that paradigm of globalization 4.0 is here today. Social media are inherently shaping visual platforms. Every day we hear about billions of photographs, many videos, cartoons, memes, GIFs, information graphics are uploaded and shared for the world to see online. So as a result, what we see that political actors now, from diplomats to international organizations, to corporations, to celebrities, to diasporas, they are all now important visual narrators of global politics. And this is very important to factor in while taking into account how internet is facilitating the visual turn. That is, when we look into the important work, that is, they tell stories about themselves, each other, and the rest of world through the images they share on social media. Consequently, it is imperative that scholars of international relations analyze visual narratives of global politics in the digital age. So with this research input, that is, we also must understand, with technology playing an important role, internet being an important pillar of guiding global diplomacy, digital diplomacy, which is often called as e-diplomacy, has redefined diplomatic contours. It is defined as a use of internet and new information communication technologies to help achieve diplomatic objectives. Digital communications is the key tool for diplomatic work. It forms a part of public diplomacy too, as we see in everyday discourse. Internet has given vast opportunities to states to amplify their diplomatic reach within limited resources. So now today time is crucial, at the same time information and digital input is crucial, because digital diplomacy uses new methods. It employs new modes of conducting diplomacy with the help of internet, with the help of developments in information communication technologies. With this, let us understand the challenges that are there with the visual turn coming forward with internet, with the important role technology is playing. So for that, we refer to the World Development Report 2016, Digital Dividends, and this we have used for the purpose of our research, get from the World Bank Open Knowledge org. So World Bank Group 2016, World Development Report 2016, Digital Dividends has some important inputs. Let us understand that. The 2016 World Development Report, quoting from the report, that is, shows that while the digital revolution has forged ahead, its analog components, the regulations that promote entry and competition, the skills that enable workers to access and then leverage the new economy, and institutions that are accountable to citizens have not kept pace. So that's an important challenge. And when these analog complements to digital investments are absent, the development impact then can be disappointing. So this is all coming from the report. Further, from quoting from the report, the digital revolution has brought easier communication and information, greater convenience, free digital products, new forms of leisure. However, as the report cautions, and we quote, digital dividends have had much less impact on global productivity, expansion of opportunity, and the spread of accountable governance that once expected. So therefore, as the report points out, an important reform area, that is, improving digital dividends require digital development strategies that go beyond the ICT, strategies that seek to build on a strong analog foundation. Further, the report quotes, it calls for institutions to take action to create an enabling environment for a more inclusive digital revolution that increases access, improves digital literacy, empowers citizens, facilitates competition to improve and refine technology. So the important inputs, that is, increased growth, more job opportunities, greater access to services are significant returns on digital investments, although they are neither automatic nor assured. Digital technology can lower the cost of economic and social transactions, promote innovation, boost efficiency, and increase inclusion. The internet can lead to more trade, better capital use, greater competition, support job creation, make workers more productive, make governments more capable and responsive. So, therefore, perceived benefits of digital technologies, as the report points out, they are offset by emerging risk. And what are they? Scale without competition can lead to concentration of market power and rise of monopolies, inhibiting future innovation. Workers without the skills necessary to use technology, there would be greater inequality rather than efficiency. Greater access to information without government accountability will lead to more control. So, what we see here is that critical security studies which are pointing towards presenting important insights on visual aspects in international relations, the work of Rune Anderson and Juha Gorari's work on visual security studies is also very important. That is, we live in the age of the image. So, it is very important that there are different ways to understand visual impact. 3 ways to that the visual comes into international security. That is, visuality as modality, where images represent and signal security; as practice, where images construct security or insecurity; and as method, where images are a research tool to make security visible. So, therefore, it is very important to understand that with time, the visual turn in IR is an important research agenda. We all know that realism dominated the discipline of IR, but however, with time, there have been new developments. For example, the internet, the global computer network systems is having this worldwide system of computer networks is impacting our communication, is impacting the knowledge available, and it impacts the dialogue and the narrative. It is creating an important communication medium too to share and get information. So, from various aspects, from allowing us to connect and communicate, revolutionizing communications, today internet is an important pillar wherein which the visual depiction of the discipline is impacted. Technology, as you all know, it is a scientific application of scientific knowledge to practical aims of human life. Today, technology is playing an important role with respect to international relations. So, with respect to dialogue and communication, with respect to various new other arena, the role and impact of internet with respect to not only the issues concerning new media, social media, but also with respect to impacting the visual narrative of global politics. So, therefore, when we analyze the visual turn in IR, we must take into account that there are many opportunities as well at the same time many challenges also, which we just discussed with the World Bank Digital Dividends Report. When we understand the visual turn in IR, looking at the role of internet, looking at the role of technology amongst others. Dear learners, we hope the lecture on visual turn in IR, looking at the role of internet, presented you significant inputs and insights. We look forward to positive, encouraging feedback from you all. Thank you very much.